Hey guys, Mishka here. You know what class is fun? Shaman is fun. So let's talk about Shaman. Alright, so Shaman's a fun class, kind of about placing totems down and throwing stuff off of your totems. So we're going to go over the equipment, and then talents, and then we'll just kind of go from there as I usually do in my videos. So the totems I use are lava, stun, lightning, and fire. Why do I use those? Lava makes bad guys weak, so that my fire and lightnings do more damage. Stun is an interrupt, which is awesome because I have an interrupt that comes up every like 2 or 3 seconds. Lightning is, first of all, it spells periodically incorrectly. Second of all, it's an AoE, and it's your spike damage because you can get a lot of these really, really fast, which is awesome, and I will demonstrate in a minute. Fireball is just a nice damage. It hits hard, which is great. You can hit like a truck with it. So those are the items I use. And keep in mind, whenever I do these videos, this isn't the, hey, this is the meta, this is how you do max DPS. This is, hey, this is how Mishka plays, and it seems to work for him. So, talents. I went with everything on the left. I am playing around with the first talent now. Yeah, stunning. Your stun lasts for less time, but it does increase damage. If your goal is pure damage, that's the one to go for. However, LT Beef and I have been experimenting with Stay Put, seeing how long we can stun lock people. For Paladin, a common technique is you drop your hammer on the enemy and hit them with like 5 charges to just stun them in place for a while. We've been playing around with seeing if Shamans can do the same. So if you want to, give your tank a little bit of extra time, maybe help them heal up, Stay Put might be worth taking. We'll see. Fire consumes. Fireball will apply a dot to weakened enemies. That's nice because it's more damage. Versus Blazing Speed, the Shaman's base speed is increased at all times. Not bad. If you don't play Shaman very often, Blazing Speed might be worth it just for when you're running around. Reach, you can interact with totem orbs from greater distances, or longevity. Totems last longer before despawning. Do not take longevity. Longevity is terrible. This is an awful talent. Do not take it. And it'll all make sense in a minute. Take reach. It's just better. Strikes twice. When your lightning orb crits, it instantly respawns on your totem. A little bit of change here since the DPS patch. It's not every time it crits, but it is based on your crit chance. So stacking crit is still worth it, but it's not necessarily every time it crits anymore. I know it's a little confusing. There was a recent patch where they changed some of the things with each class, which is why I'm redoing these videos. But this is not correct. The lightning orb respawns based on your crit chance. So it's still worth stacking crit, but it doesn't necessarily mean crit equals respawn. Versus Totemic Call, once every 10 seconds, you can point to a place totem and teleport to it. If you teleport at least 4 meters for a short period after teleporting, all damage is increased. Don't take this. I tend to take this a lot. This is your meme talent. This is your, I feel like throwing totems on top of buildings and teleporting to the top of the building with it. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to goof around with, and I love using it, but if you're doing this for damage, go with Strikes Twice. And finally, Tier 5, All In. The first orb generated by a totem is guaranteed to crit. This is why we don't take longevity. Because if every time you get an orb spawned, if the first time an orb is spawned by a totem it's a crit, then you should be placing down totems as fast as possible in order to get those crits. Which means none of them are going to last as long as they possibly can before despawning. So forget longevity. Versus Summon Orb, you can pull an orb to you from 20 meters away or 30 meters if you have reach. Nah. So, how does Mishka play Shaman? Well, first thing I do is I put my totems down. Cool. Then I throw my Lava Totem. Lava Totem hits him with weakness, and I just go to town. And I go to town. You're going to see that my tiles just proc all the time because that's what they're set to do. Right? Whenever the totems respawn, you place them down and go to town. Now you're going to notice, unlike before in my old video where I was saying, hey, you want to be as close to the enemy as possible, right? Because the closer you are, the faster your lightning crits. The faster your lightning crits, the more it respawns. Now I'm sitting way back here, so what gives? Well, whenever you place that lightning totem down, and we'll place those over there so we don't have to worry about them, we'll place this here. With the lightning totem, when it's not detecting an enemy, when this totem hasn't hit an enemy, it's going to keep respawning that lightning until you hit. And once you hit, notice it stops respawning as fast, right? So we'll put it down. This totem hasn't hit an enemy, so lightning, 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 lightning. Right? You get a whole streak of them. I've seen up to 6. Whereas if I sit up here with it, I only got 2 because it detected an enemy right away, and it's like, all right, now we're looking for crits. You want to stand a moderate distance away to get as many lightnings in a row as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. Right? Pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Shaman. It's an extremely low skill DPS. You can get, decent numbers with it, as you can see by the pew 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 pew. Right? The damage is not bad, but it doesn't compare to Scoundrel, Mage, or Ranger on a skilled player. Woohoo! So let's talk about equipment and affixes and whatnot. Here we go. Ignore my armor. It's beautiful, I know. So we got crit damage, crit chance, crit damage, crit chance, crit damage, crit chance, crit damage, crit chance. Why do we have crit damage, crit chance? Because we're stacking crits for the sake of our lightning bolts. We want to crit as much as we can, or we want that crit chance to be as high as possible so that we crit with our lightnings. And when you crit with a lightning or a fireball, it does a significant amount of damage. Fireball, because it already hits fairly well. There we go. How much does that hit for? So that's 30k without the lava totem. What about with the lava totem hitting him? 57k, right? So crit damage on top of that helps. And then the lightning, whenever it crits, or whenever it hits in general, it hits the whole group. So the more hits you got, the better. You add the crits on top of that, it does more damage. So crit damage, crit chance is awesome. Some people say take projectile damage instead of crit damage or crit chance. Sure, whatever works for you. This is what I use because it's fun. Regarding the tiles, I believe that's fireball, that lightning, and that stun, or the other way around. I don't know. And then one of those is a lava totem pulse. Again, I go to Blue Ducky. Blue Ducky is tile goddess. She is the person to go to when it comes to tiles. Yeah. But as you saw, they proc pretty much every time I throw my orbs out. I've got Charge Strikes Bleed. Bleed because I've always got Bleed in my DPS classes, and Charge Strikes because that's a guaranteed crit every so often. And like I said, we want to stack crits for Shaman. And because Scott said that Charge Strikes is better than Giant Killer or Ice Heart, and I listen to Scott. Scott is the guy to go to when it comes to like min-max and metas. I do have Eraser of Wisdom simply because why not? The ultimate here is Rupert. When you summon Rupert, you say, "Thank you, Rupert. Look at Rupert. Isn't he fantastic?" Rupert is a god. Rupert is immortal. Rupert is fantastic. Bye, Rupert. You should thank Rupert every time you see him. Do not thank Fluffy, you heathens. Thank Rupert. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, for rings, I've got the typical world boss rings. Scavenge ring with the overgrown bark, infused, elite hunter, and empowered. LTB and I were thinking about, what would happen if we put sticky on the rings, because sticky increases the length of your stuns. If you take stay put with the stun totem, how long can we keep things stun locked? Like I said, that's just something we're looking into. Haven't really figured out whether we like it or not, but that is something that, you might want to take a look into. So I think that's pretty much it. We went over the talents, we went over the equipment, we went over how to play it. You just sit there and you throw stuff. Oh yeah, the other totems. Shield totem. It's like a 26k shield that ticks quite often. It's I'll put it on and then we'll talk about it once it actually comes up. It's a 44-second timer to respawn, which is long. You can certainly use shield totem. There's nothing wrong with it. It's typically not used because the musketeers got it under control. There's also the hex totem and the frost totem. I don't see them because I don't use them. Hex totem is an AoE polymorph. It'll turn random enemies into toads. Do not use it. And the reason I say that is when you polymorph an enemy, they regain all of their health. And because the hex totem is AoE and you cannot choose who it targets, it could very well target somebody with the lowest HP, or it could polymorph the target prioritization that you're trying to kill. yada yada. It's just not worth it. Frost Totem is similar to Lava Totem, but it doesn't do as much damage. Some people take it because they have Ice Heart on their mask. I don't, because Lava Totem does more damage. That's legitimately it. And I've usually got, like, you know, a mage or something. All right, here we go. Shield Totem. Boop. You put it down. It pulses. Everybody gets that shield. Right? Whoops. And it pulses every, like, 2 to 3 seconds. Go away, annoying lightnings. So yeah, it pulls every, like, 2 to 3 seconds. It stays up for, I think, 22 seconds, and it just keeps refreshing that shield, which is awesome. If you had, like, a whole team, like, you know, a healer, a tank, and then 3 shamans, and all the shamans were using shield totem, God, that'd be great. Nobody would die, probably. I can't tell you for certain. And then last but not least, the bugs. You're going to notice that this lightning totem hasn't respawned orbs. That is par for the course. There is some stupid bug that nobody has been able to figure out why it happens. The devs are clueless as to why it happens and keep looking for the cause, but nobody can figure it out, so we can't fix it. The orb just doesn't respawn. Why does it happen? Like I said, we don't know. If that happens, right, you put a totem down and the orb doesn't spawn, don't freak out. Just wait for your next totem, put it down. Usually that'll spawn the orb. Yes, you're missing out on damage, but there's really nothing you can do. It's not your fault. So, oh well, we'll see if we can figure that out. Oh yeah, and then to put on your mask, you reach behind you like you're taking out a weapon and you grip. You can't actually see it here, which is unfortunate. You're gonna know if your mask is out because your tools disappear. Yeah, that's it. All right, so that's Shaman in a nutshell. Yeah, throw totems, throw orbs. Thank Rupert. That's just about it. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Until next time, happy hunting.